For reals, today, I literally, I'm sitting there going, fuck, we have to record the episode in which Marquez wins another fucking championship. The episode in which fucking Everett was right the whole time. I mean, there's nothing worse than when Everett's right. Right? For reals. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go drown my sorrows. I'm going to... Rob is drunk and hungover and on 3 hours of sleep. We'll get to that. And I'm like, I'm going to go to Mountain Mike's fucking all-you-can-eat pizza buffet for lunch. And I'm going to come up with the fucking syllabus. And I'm just going to drown my sorrows in pizza. And I get to the place and there's like... I get my pizza, my little salad plate, and my drink, and then my pizza plate, but there's only 2 slices of pizza in the pizza buffet. But I'm thinking that's just like, it just opened, we're good. So I get my pizza, and I'm waiting, and then, I notice, 5 other people are, kind of darting and looking, where's the pizza, and there's no fucking pizza. One guy asks, and the guy says, well, it's coming up in, 5 minutes. And I'm thinking, okay, right, there, a lot of people showed up early, they weren't ready. I mean, even though they advertise it at 11:30, and it's 11:40, so we're not actually early, we're right on time, and they literally, oh my god, I'm fucking getting text messages right now. Hold on, fuck these guys. My fucking boss is texting me. I got Broto GP stories to tell, bitch. And
text him you quit. Text him you quit. Text him you quit. You won't do it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm texting him I quit, right? Exactly. Fuck you, getting a new job. It wouldn't have to get a job if Rob would start the Patreon already. Anyways, so the pizza's not coming out, and the fucking locals are getting antsy. The natives are restless, right? And he literally, 3 people keep going up, and then he says 5 more minutes. And finally it's been 25 minutes. And I'm like, and then my girlfriend's like, just eat salad. I'm like, no, fuck that. These guys are trying to trick me and fill up on salad so I don't get my full thing of pizza. I'm not gonna fucking fill up on salad while I'm waiting for them to bring out the pizza. I don't toss salad unless I'm down to fuck. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna, we gotta complete the deed if you want me to get back there and start going salad style. But you know what? And anyways, finally the dude brings a pizza out, and it's a teeny tiny little fucking pizza, and it's a Hawaiian pizza with fucking pineapple. And if you like pineapple on your pizza, fuck you, I hope you die.
I like pineapple on my pizza.
I might die. I might have to die.
Again, fuck you, I hope you die. And then...
I totally had pizza with pineapple on it.
So the fucking... Right. So, yeah, exactly. So the natives are swarming the pizza, and the guy starts telling everyone, hold on, these people have been here. And I'm like, bro, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. If you weren't ready to throw down slices, you shouldn't have opened, dog. That's how it goes. You are advertising. So anyway, I'm fucking heated. I get half a slice of pizza. It's slathered in pineapple juice. It's horrible. So I just get up and bail. I'm trying to write the syllabus. I'm not going to try and get my money back. So I go over to the fucking coffee shop down the street. And I'm like, I'm just going to get some coffee. I'm going to get a big-ass coffee. I'll drink it. It'll keep me going. And I will be good to go. And I'll focus on syllabus. And I get there. And the coffee shop doesn't have any coffee. I'm getting map-aided everywhere. There's no pizza at the all-you-can-eat buffet. It's only 11:50 or whatever, 12 o'clock by now, and there's no fucking coffee. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is hideous, right? So I haven't had any fucking lunch. I got denied pizza. I ain't got my coffee. And Rob and Ev and Dennis know I drink a lot of fucking coffee. Y'all saw me I dominate coffee. I drink as much coffee per day as Rob drank booze last night with Josh Heron.
Oh god.
And
don't remind me.
So then I fucking sit down and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna use this, I posted Instagram, list or question we're gonna start off with, and I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. I'm trying to be all funny, other than Rins' fucking sweet stash, what should we talk about? And everyone says, I just spent 90 minutes talking about Rins' stash. I'm trying to get all funny and laugh and get in the mood because I gotta be funny. That's the whole thing. And then my man Clayton Taylor's like, here's the question: why bother?
Oh.
And I'm like,
you had to go there.
You know what? Fuck, I know, right? Right. Why fucking bother? I ain't got no pizza. I ain't got no coffee. I ain't got no D's out for Dovi because he didn't win the title. I gotta sit here and record knowing Everett's gonna throw it in my face. He just bukkake of Marquez all over me, right? Yeah, exactly. That sound. Wah, wah, wah.
Hey, dude, it's part of the deal.
Part of the deal. Why bother? Welcome to BrotoGP, I guess.
I guess. Fuck it.
I think the worst part about it is that Kevin told the story hoping that we would be in solidarity about hating pineapple on pizza.
No.
But we don't.
I love it. Best thing ever.
My girlfriend just
totally
texted me
lost
from the
it on
other room. I love pineapple on pizza.
Where's my fucking violin at? Hold up.
Yeah, Dennis, you know the real Dennis, the real fucking weirdos are the ones who get pepperoni with pineapple though. That's some weird shit.
I haven't tried that.
That is I used to deliver pizza.
Dude, I will put anything.
To quote that awesome Asian chick from the meme in the yearbook that wrote, "If you like pineapple on your pizza, that means your blood is weak and your children are weak and they will not survive the winter." And I will shit on your grave. That, you know what I'm saying?
That's not Asian. That's a fucking banana talking right there.
I kind of like it.
She was fucking Filipino as fuck.
That's
dude.
banana.
She like died. You've seen that meme? Yeah, exactly. So anyways, two things. If you like Marc Marquez, eat a dick. And if you like pineapple on your pizza, I hope you die.
Hey.
Welcome to ProtoGP.com.
Dicks. No dicks. No dicks are being eaten around here.
Exactly. If you were happy with Marc Marquez winning the title, why don't you just make out with him live on TV? His brother did.
Because they're not related. That's the problem.
That's when shit just got weird. Yeah.
Now that we brought up incest, which I don't think that was on one of the no-go topics.
That is not a no-go topic.
No, incest is always fair game.
Anyway.
God damn it! I should have marked that one down.
It's a no-no topic.
We are progressives here. We love everyone, and any act between consenting adults, I ain't trying to judge.
Oh, I thought. Wait.
Yeah, we're
Kev,
cool
I
with
thought
that.
the line was. I thought the line was we hate everybody equally. We're not racist or anything like that. You know?
Yeah, I mean that's South Park. If South Park taught me anything, it's that caring about anything is for losers. Yeah. And so this whole episode is going to be us not caring and fucking hating on everyone.
Little fucks given as possible.
You knew coming into the race that it was going to be long shot. It was going to be something that was going to tug at the heartstrings the whole time you were hoping for it. And the first half of the race was just like going as expected. It got spicy there, and it made it even worse.
As spicy as Rob is right now, where he totally forgot our intro.
Yeah, Rob. I was just about to say, Rob.
Yeah,
I don't know if we just dove into it and got too excited all of a sudden. If we ramped up quickly, but you didn't really kick us off.
I was trying to find a good segue point, and it didn't come up yet. So let's do it right now.
Are you getting clarity of mind? Are you ready to do this?
No, I'm really okay. No, I'm really going to do it now.
All right.
For those of you who don't know, Rob is totally wasted, totally hungover, on like 3 hours of sleep, pulled over on the side of I-5 somewhere, coming back from Laguna after partying all night with a crew of miscreants and deplorables, and he is rallying through. That's why he sounds like Robot Rob.
I am Zombie Rob. Welcome to BrotoGP. I am Zombie Rob.
Yes.
On the phone with me, as always, is fucking Kevin.
The hostess with the mostest, because I got the most hoses.
Kev, you got an upgrade. You are now fucking Kevin.
You've got the most hoses?
Yeah, hose. Like Andre Iannone style.
Hose.
Oh my god. As you've already heard, Everett is here as well.
I'm back, bitches.
Bitch.
And Dennis is here too. I think this is the first four-way in at least like a year.
Oh, you have to make it. Why do you always make it awkward when you talk?
It's a bro down. It's a bro down. It is not a four-way. It is a bro down.
You had me at four-way.
because you throw the lot. You complain the most about it. It's great.
I heard a nasty rumor that Dennis was so fired up on the race that he was going to do the entire episode in Spanish.
That's true. I heard that rumor too.
Kenny, that's.
I got my alcohol now. So I
Kev, I also validated that on Snopes.com. It did say that.
Yeah, exactly. That is not fake news.
To address Kev's other fake news, I am not currently intoxicated because I did have to drive a little bit today. But Zombie Rob is full on zombie because, yeah, all the other stuff was true. Absolutely no sleep. It's terrible. Me and Josh Heron and I, we partied. He fucking kept me up in the hotel room. Some shit went down. Yeah, mostly alcohol.
Oh, it's so hard fucking doing Laguna track days and riding with pro riders. It's so hard.
Right.
He was backing in a rental Ninja 300 into like every possible corner that he could. It was fucking amazing.
I love
like,
that most of Josh Heron's posts are him trolling guys at track days, like pulling up behind them and grabbing their seat and shit. You know what I mean?
He's we're gonna turn it into like a thing that's positive for the sport. Like he has some ideas and he might even get like Wiener Schnitzel involved. It's gonna be fucking awesome. I hope he does it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can't give it away. That's his shit. I can't
Gonna have
give
some
it away.
wieners all over the place. It'll be trouble.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Wieners out for the 4-way.
See,
Yeah. Dennis is back. We got everyone together. We got the band back together.
I know, right?
Hose out for
All right, so let's jump into the race. Obviously, we know what happened.
Riders Law, brah.
God.
We talked about
Yeah, dude,
Zombie
dude.
Rob doesn't know what to do.
Rob,
Someone
you got
else-
one
someone
job.
else
You
do
got
it.
one job.
I got it. Riderslaw.com, guys. That's Riders Law with a Z. They're your California accident injury motorcycle lawyers. If you get in trouble, if you get pulled over, if you get in an accident, if you need any legal help involving your motorcycle, or if you're pulled over on I-5 because you're Rob and you have a DUI and there's a cop behind you right now, you call Cy at Riders Law, or you call Lawyer Rob. That's Riders Law with a Z, and you help them out. Riders Law are some seriously dope dudes. That's one of the reasons Heron was there. They sponsor Heron a little bit. They sponsor a lot of stuff in motorcycle racing. So if you are on the West Coast of the United States and you need a little bit of legal help in the motorcycle area, you definitely want to call my man Cy at riderslaw.com. That's Riders Law with a Z. Look at me being pro as fuck on the spot. Didn't even mention a dick in that fucking spiel.
Until the end. A+, Kev. Solid. Thanks for recovering that there.
Yeah. Speaking of recovering, fucking Marc Marquez recovers from a disastrous beginning of the season and wins the title, and does so by constantly recovering crashes he should not be recovering. Fuck this guy. Why can he do that? I hate it, but I'm also simultaneously utterly impressed by it. I can't actually talk shit about it. He invented a new riding style, which is, let's just crash all the time, but not actually crash.
What was it, 27 crashes?
26 and a half.
27.
26 and a half.
But who's counting?
That's true.
Yeah, everyone.
Who's counting all of MotoGP.com?
We were, because I was fucking counting on him crashing. That's why, so I was counting on it.
So anyway, Everett, give it to me. You can slather me in that sweet juice of righteousness. We all talk shit about
Which
it
probably
tastes like
tastes
pineapple
cold.
juice. Exactly.
You're lucky I drank a can of pineapple juice before. No, I'm just kidding.
That's the
really
secret, though. If guys, for reals, if you're out doing track days and fucking slanging bitches and living the Yonone lifestyle, prodigious amounts of pineapple juice is how you get. That is how you get certain actions done to completion. I'm just saying, guys.
Yeah. Secret. Trade secret.
Yeah. We all
So,
retired
Kev-
now, but inner trade secrets, pineapple juice.
Kev,
Yo,
just
my man.
keep it simple. Keep it simple. I told you so.
God damn it.
Yeah. I called it. I mean, I called it last year. I called it this year. It's fucked up, but it's just so easy.
Are you working for fucking Dorna and HRC here, Everett? What are you doing?
Do not conspiracy me.
Hey, why do you think Livio Supo's leaving? Because Everett's trying to get in there.
Exactly.
You know?
They knew what was good for him.
Right. I mean, it was a crazy season, right? Like, I mean, to actually talk about, if you look at Marquez's, he won the title. Don't get me wrong, and he won it legitimately. He was the best rider. There's no controversy really about it whatsoever. We'll get into the Dovi, Jorge, map 8, all that stuff like that. We all thought fucking Marquez was map 86 off the fucking title, halfway through the season, but he turns it around. He's fucking, nose to the grindstone. Everett and I were talking about this earlier. There was a point in mid-season where Marc Marquez he said this, he went to the barber and they thought he was losing his hair, and he went to the doctor because he thought he was sick, and it was literally stress. This guy was grinding so hard to retain his title that while Maverick Vinales was starting an Instagram with his new side piece about their dog, Marc Marquez is so fucking hardcore about retaining title that he's losing his hair at 24. Right? You can't beat that. Like, that's the problem. He has nothing, no other life but this. He lives at home. He has no girlfriend. You never see him with any chicks. He's making out with his brother. Like, he's so wholly committed to this. And you can't. And he's laser focused.
His brother's lips.
Right, and he was never down and out, and he pulls it out. I don't really have anything bad to say to an extent other than, like, fuck, God damn it.
Dude, you got to respect it. Nobody can hate on that.
Right, and I got off my point. My point was he had the lowest points per race for a champion since Hayden. He didn't win a lot of races this year. If you look at like how many races he won, like in his vaunted 2014 season, he only won a handful of races this year, but he always capitalized when his opponents didn't do well. He's on the podium enough that even though he had some DNFs and an engine blow and still a low average point score, he never was out, and in his head he was never out. He was always in it, and that laser focused self-belief is hard to beat, and Maverick was basically defeated by that self-defeat.
Well, and it also lends itself to explain that 2017 is one of the best seasons, like 2006, because if the points are that low and you can still win a championship, it means there's just so many players involved, right? And it did start that way the first half of the season. Then the tire change happened, then it started to kind of taper off with a two horse race, no pun intended. But
do you think that laser focus of Marquez actually got to Dovi and kind of caused him to falter a little bit in the championship?
No, I mean, I'll take that real quick, Kev. No, I think unfortunately the Ducati just isn't as mature of a bike still, unfortunately, and it just didn't have certain tracks that it could work well at, and so it was a bad series of events for Dovi at the end. Other than that, I mean, I want to actually say the total opposite. I think the Ducati was better than the Honda by a pretty good margin. And that's why, I mean, look, I love Dovi. We all love Dovi. He's the people's champ. It was amazing. He's not as skilled as Marquez outright. Marquez,
we saw that in turn one and the final car, or wherever Dovi crashed.
Right. Marquez is simply so talented that he overrode a bike that he had no business doing it on, while Dovi was on the strength of his bike, on the strength of his self-belief. Once you start winning, we saw Dovi, he out Marquez multiple times in last lap battles, last turn battles. This guy was not scared of Marquez. He was not under pressure from Marquez. He's just not as good, and he faltered a little bit at Phillip Island, and he faltered a little bit in practice this race to put him on the back foot, and Marquez struck when, the iron was hot. He smelled blood, and he struck.
We could debate that for a while, because there were tracks where the Ducati just simply didn't show up, and even Valencia was a track where I was getting worried they weren't going to show up, right? And
right.
We don't... Dennis was asking, hey, do we talk about qualifying? Generally not, but this one we do. Dovi was nowhere to be found. Ducati had a big problem, and Lorenzo was sort of there, but he always seems to kind of be there, but not there, So,
that track just sucks so hard, too. Valencia just sucks.
It's kind of cool, actually. I mean, it's terrible, but it's cool, because it's like a stadium. It's like going to a football game or something where it's all right there, and everyone can sit around it. No, I'm serious. It's one of the problems that motorcycle racing has.
I fully agree with you. One of the best things about Valencia is its facility layout. But that's a great thing, and that facility design is very intelligent and epic for motorcycle racing to view. Because, like you said, one of the biggest. You go to Mugello and you see 4 turns, maybe.
Right. Well, we saw like 10, but me and Bassam saw a lot. But,
right, exactly. But and there you go, Bassam.
No, but it's like going to
man. 6, and not even forced. Organic as fuck. That was organic organic and
Actually, I was gonna say that seemed really, really forced. Actually,
name some turns. Name some turns.
The point being is that but the track, it's because of that design. And what is Supercross but a bunch of 9-degree turns and some jumps?
Right.
It's exciting for spectators, but it doesn't make for the best racing.
Exactly. Well, no, I mean certain bikes really, really, really exaggerate their abilities there. That's the difference.
Right.
I mean, I feel like if Valencia could take out 3 or 4 corners or something and just open it up and add that speed factor that we see at all the other tracks, right? Because Valencia is just, it's short and it's tight, and those are not qualities of tracks that favor Ducati.
Not for a fucking MotoGP bike.
Yeah, but at the same time, right? The Honda was very successful there. Right, Marquez did his amazing stuff like he always does. Danny Pedrosa ended up having another, like, his second win of the year, like he must do practically every single year. And
exactly.
And thankfully the temperature came up, and he was able to get some heat into those tires there.
Danny did exactly what he needed to do to get another 10 years of Repsol factory ride. You know what I mean?
Hey,
yeah, seriously.
Hey, Rob, I got a question for you on the technical side of things. Did you notice that the Honda got better and back to its roots of being really strong in acceleration out of turns by the end of the season?
Yeah, I called that attention to that with the Aragon race, because the backstretch at Aragon comes out of that really slow chicane, that what is it, a right left, and the Ducati wasn't pulling 20 feet on them like right out of the corner, and I was surprised, because that's something that the Honda has been struggling with, and they kind of struggled with that in the beginning of the season, just like they had in previous seasons. But by Aragon, it was just like, holy shit, they've got this moving. And that kind of, it was really good for them to get it done then, because there are tracks right after that favor the drive, right? If you want to do good at Motegi, you have to have the drive. Of course, it was wet, so it didn't matter as much, because the wet setup it's all Marquez, But yeah, like Honda, once again, Everett, God, I hate saying this, but you're right again. They just fucking slowly put the thing together. From the technical side, their HRC did it again.
And, well, it's they just have the money, right? Over time, they get to mid-season, they kind of figure out where they really need to make the investments, and they continue to make them. You see the opposite from Yamaha. They go strong in the beginning, then taper off. Ducati is a little more even keel through the year now, we're seeing, which is cool, but Honda...
And to compare to Ducati, right? Ducati generally hasn't always been able to make consistent progress forward. And I would say, like you just said, even keel. Ducati was the most consistent factory all season long, because they could put the bike near the front in almost all conditions. Where that's where Yamaha faltered the most, and HRC struggled a tiny bit in the beginning of the year as well. But at the same time, though, the places where Ducati and Dovizioso, probably just as a rider, struggled a little bit, there, instead of getting third, Dovizioso would get eighth, or he'd have a Phillip Island result, right? It's just when things didn't go his way for Dovizioso, when he wasn't able to find the pace in practice and in qualifying, and he wasn't able to use that amazing tire software, he wasn't able to pull something out of the bag. He wasn't able to save crazy ass fucking tucking the front, and it lost him quite a bit of points. Like he was unsuccessful at zooging his way to the championship.
I have 2 points I would say there. First of all, I actually don't like zooging. Dovi won 6 races this year. Dovi did not squeak out a chance. Dovi was winning multiple races, decisively winning those races, and beating the eventual title winner in straight up fights. This was not a year where again, Hayden, God rest his soul, he got a win at home, and then he won when Edwards crashed, and otherwise, through a series of weird events with front tires chunking and all that stuff, he was able to win, and then a wild card throwing a big monkey wrench. Dovi won a ton of races this year, the same amount as the title winner, so he wasn't like he won the least amount of races, and he was right up there. Dovi simply... Dovi simply, didn't pull it out when he needed to because in the last couple races he didn't do well
Title
enough.
of Rob sex tape. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Didn't do as well. Right, exactly. But the other thing I want to say is, it's what you say is Dovi didn't, have a bunch of miraculous saves. See, there's the problem. Marquez has developed. He has shifted the paradigm, not to use words that stupid people use to sound smart, but like paradigm and proactive, right? Simpsons season 7 reference. But Marquez simply purposely crashes. Like there was like a stupid ass like tech or thing on there, like he doesn't find the edge, he finds the ledge beyond the edge. Okay, Matt Oxley, what the fuck ever. But the idea is sound. He knows exactly where the crash is going to happen. He finds it purposefully during the practice sessions, and he knows he can save it. The guy has developed a riding style where Honda doesn't have to worry about the bike having problems and crashing because Marc Marquez has a style in which he saves it. That's a fucked thing to have to deal with if you're a guy like Valentino or Dovizioso, where like your strength is being really good in braking and you develop a bike that's really good in braking when Honda's like, haha, what the fuck ever, we don't even have to be good in braking, the dude will just save it on his elbow if he has to. Like, that's fucked. That's trying to fucking play basketball against a guy who's 7'8". That's kind of fucked to deal with. Like, it doesn't matter how good your crossover is, the dude's just gonna stick his hand up and block the basket. It's or trying to fucking box a guy who has Homer Simpson syndrome and could be hit with a surgical 2x4 and he won't get knocked out. Another early Simpsons reference.
I mean, it kind of goes back to it kind of goes back to how Jorge lost to Marquez too, right? Like back then they were complaining that the Yamaha was all focused on corner speed and Marquez was like just braking and then driving out of the corner. So Marquez would get in front, he'd block the apex speed, so the Yamaha wasn't able to use its strengths to beat Marquez, right? And that's what we're seeing now, except it's not necessarily just the bike and just the riding styles. It is the riding styles. It's fucking Marquez being able to do this and essentially taking away the tools that the other normal-ish racers would have to beat him.
Right, like if you are racing a guy and you think, well, that guy's got to be careful. If he goes in too hot, he's going to crash. And Marquez is like, that's cool. I'll crash like 4 times a race.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing that I saw too, and this goes back to HRC's technical prowess with developing this, right? When he crashed in FP2, I'm pretty sure he crashed in turn 2. The front end just chattered the fuck out into that corner. The front tire bounced off the ground because it was chattering so bad. He tips in, and there's no saving that. When you tip in and the front tire's not on the ground, you're going down. But that's not what happened in the race. Like, HRC took care of that problem, got rid of the chatter into turn 2. He then had a different crash, or almost had a different crash into turn 1, where he just very lightly slid the front end. He added maybe 2-3 degrees of lean angle to set the thing on his knee, waited for it to come back, and rode it out. Like, it's just like everything has come together to allow Marquez to be able to save these consistently and just keep winning races, or at least finishing so that you could win the fucking championship.
Right.
And I think the final thing I want to add to the Dovi and Marquez is that even though this is Dovizioso's like best season and most competitive ever, it also highlights the glaring difference between him and Marquez, in that Marquez will will it. He will will a win or winning the championship, whereas Dovi is like, he's a safe bet. He'll bring it home, but he doesn't know how to go beyond that to do whatever it takes, to actually get the job done. If that,
I mean, he's closer this year to doing whatever it takes. Yeah,
I know, but that's what I'm saying though. It's like it somehow still highlights the glaring difference between him and Marquez. Marquez will it, even if it means putting the whole load on his knees.
Blowing my whole load on his knees? Title of Rob's sex tape.
Sorry, title of Rob's sex tape. Anyway, hold up. I actually have a question for Kevin. I mean, I agree. Like, nobody can take away this season for Dovi. 6 wins, almost as much as Marquez. But I have a hypothetical question for you. Like,
Not almost, the same amount.
Well, let's put it this way. Like, let's say it came to be that Marquez didn't finish wherever he did, and it came down to Lorento and Dovizioso fighting for the win in Valencia. Let's say actually Lorento actually moved over. Would you accept an asterisk for Dovizioso as a champion?
No,
Of course not. Any less than I would accept an asterisk for Nicky when Danny Pedrosa in the final race said he absolutely would move aside. Like, not even close, and he did. And no more than I would say Danny, who stayed behind Marquez in the first half of that race all day long, and as Nick Harris liked to constantly remind us, he's never going to fucking put it to him hard, and he's going to sit behind and protect him for a bit. Look,
I wish Nick Harris said put it to him hard.
Right,
you would.
I know.
Right.
But it's over. We don't have to hear him anymore.
Sex tape boy.
Literally never again, thank fucking God. To answer your question, Dennis, no. Here's why. Again, it's not a Zug-style win. He had 6 wins, the same amount as Marquez, and he beat Marquez straight up in final turn battles multiple times. Dovi had no,
wet and dry,
title rod sex tape, and he had no, weird, undeserved wins. Everything across lots of conditions, lots of styles of tracks, Dovi was fully in it. I would have not accepted, and asterisk would have not been in play, especially since Jorge, look, man, you sucked all year long. You did not have a successful season. You did not have a 12 million euro season. And if, you need to help Dovi. I mean, you were brought in to win a championship for Ducati. And if it turns out that means helping Dovi win, that's how it goes. It is a team in the end. They have a Constructors' Championship. They have a Team Championship for a reason. It's more than just one rider. It's a whole team issue. Him and Dovi developed the bike together. They developed the bike together under the one team, with the one sponsor, with the one
eyebrow.
One eyebrow, exactly.
One brow to rule them all. I got you, man. I got you.
Exactly. But here's the thing, Dennis. We'll never fucking know, because despite the fact that Map 8 was suggested 80 fucking times, and despite the fact they put it on his board, move, bitch, get out the way, and the mechanics are shaking their head like, fuck, I don't know. We don't know. And that's the problem. Earlier, Dennis, you said that one of the things is Marquez fully wills it, but we'll never know with Dovi. Look, everyone can say all this nonsense. Look at their lap times. Or Jorge said he was towing him. Or Dovi didn't say anything. Dovi said it was right. Nah, fuck all that noise. We don't know, because the fucking dude didn't move and let Dovi see his rival. That's a carrot. That's a fucking red, a red cape hanging, and Dovi's a fucking bull ready to strike that Spanish fucking matador with his stupid ass pants. That was exactly. Go ahead.
I love how you just took all my talking points away, because I was going to talk about the lap times.
Fuck your talking points, bitch. None of that matters. None of this. That's all. The whole thing is Jorge gets the fucking Map 8 suggestion. He should have slipped to the side, let Dovi go, and say, okay, Dovi, there it is. Your title is right there in front of you. The psychological power in motorcycle racing is so fucking paramount, and we've covered this so many times. Was Dovi frustrated that Jorge wouldn't move? Was he getting annoyed that he couldn't get past him? Was he, we don't know. Had Jorge just moved aside like he was supposed to because his fucking boss told him to, then we would have seen, finally, Jorge not moving aside and all his bullshit excuses robbed us of the final fucking showdown, of what was going to happen. Dovi had beat Marquez multiple times, and here's a time when it finally mattered, when it was for all the marbles or all the loaded die, because that shit was so fucking contrived. But
it had to have been loaded. It had to have been.
Look, wait a minute. I'm gonna be a devil's advocate and lawyer for a minute. Lorenzo had been saying all season. No, Lorenzo had been saying all season that when it comes to Valencia, he would help Dovi, but he never said how. So helping could be towing, or it could be.
I mean,
moving aside.
I
You
kind
never
of
said
agree
how.
with Kev. Like, and that's the thing.
Wait, what?
This track.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like it's never happened before.
No,
This
that's what I was
this
going to
track
ask to
is so
clarify.
fucking- This track is so fucking short. There's 30 laps, right? Jorge could have moved out of the way, let Dovi in front for 2 to 4, even 5 laps, right? If they yo-yoed and fell back from the top 3, then fucking Dovi lets him back by and pulls him back up there, and then we know.
I'm
Like,
so
we just-
disappointed.
No, because like everything is showing me that Jorge did the right thing as far as lap times and such. But it's, as a motorcycle racing fan, it's not what I wanted to see. Right? We know
Rob,
that.
might I
Dovi-
remind you that as soon as Lorenzo crashed
Yeah.
out, 4 corners later, Dovizioso crashed out. How are we not saying that had Lorenzo moved over, Dovi would have crashed out after all and been out of the race on
Hell,
his fault?
you're
So
right.
I'm just saying,
yeah,
I'm
maybe
just saying.
maybe Lorenzo moves out of the way and Dovi crashes 4 corners later. Like, who the
Right,
fuck
and
knows?
then we
But
know.
something would have happened.
That's what I'm saying. Before Everett steps in and has his piece, and he has it, and I know he wants it. I'm just gonna say, if Jorge let him through, Dovi gets in front, tries too hard and crashes, then we know for real and definitively that when push came to shove and the fucking fists were out and the gloves were off, Dovi didn't have it. And then I'm fine. Then I'm like, well, Marquez is the phenom. Dovi was the working man. It didn't work out this time. Fucking Jorge robbed us of that definitive answer, in my opinion.
No, but that logic just says you'd be okay with that happening sooner in the race than later when it
absolutely
actually
be, because
did.
I don't know how
wow.
much Dovi was rattled. I don't know if he was burning up his tires trying to get past. And, again, this is a game of fucking millimeters. Just because it wasn't obvious that he was showing tires doesn't mean he wasn't thinking, I gotta fucking get past this guy.
No.
We don't know. And you know what, Ev? Take it away.
Take it, Everett.
I just I mean, look. So what it was. So what it was Dovi.
Rob got it.
Look, go back through the weekend. Dovi was slower. Lorenzo had the speed. He's more familiar. Whatever you want to say, right? You get to the race.
Qualified Dovi plenty of times.
Hold up. No, I mean this race, and Lorenzo had the pace. He was giving him the toe. Dovi was faster in certain corners with the entry speed. The exit speed he couldn't hang though. And so that's where he couldn't get by him. And so he's like, look.
You can't compare exit speed when the guy that's faster on entry is literally having to delay his throttle roll on because there's someone
No,
in
you
front of
can.
him.
That's my whole point. We talked about this earlier. It's all about point and shoot. It's all about getting out of the turn, not into the turn. Into the turn slow.
With Valencia, there's no fucking straightaways. It's not about anything.
No, I
It's
know,
just
but that's what I'm saying. It's the acceleration
around the damn
out, dude.
track.
It's hit the apex and gun it out and get the fuck out. And that's where Dovi was running it in hard, so he'd show the wheel onto Lorenzo's back wheel, but then Lorenzo was already taken off. It's like, dude.
I mean, there were only 2 corners, where Dovizioso seemed to be actually faster. I think
it was like 6 and 7 or
first,
something.
Yeah, the first right-hander, and then I can't remember what the other one.
That's what I'm saying.
Was.
He would simply trail break in deeper so we could stay with him. Otherwise, if he wasn't doing that, he was going to lose touch, and that's exactly what happened.
He did a few times. He was yo-yoing back behind Jorge, which
Right.
is why everyone is bringing up the fucking lap times.
So the $1 million question is: if he had listened to the map 8 and let him through, would he have caught up? I don't think so.
Yeah, who
It
cares?
doesn't matter
Then we would
whether
have
he
fucking
would have
known.
or not.
It does matter. It's a fucking podcast. We're supposed to debate this.
My point
Mission
is it
accomplished.
doesn't matter, because what happened, if Everett gets in some fucking bar altercation with some dude, and he's just about to throw down, and Everett snaps his fucking fingers, and I come in fucking slabam, and I just fucking blast this dude. We can say all day long that I helped Everett, and it was better that I fucking knocked that asshole out, or choked him out, or what the fuck ever, but if Everett wants to actually know if he could have beat that dude straight up, he don't know.
I'm 11 out of 10.
Right? And even if it's probably not, you never know. Maybe it was. Maybe you fucking thumb that asshole right in the eye. And then when he goes, you kick him in the fucking dick, right? Not even the balls, the dick. And his fucking head is burning because you caught him flush in the cock, right? Not even the balls, the cock. And that burning sensation you can't get rid of in the dick itself. And that dude's collapsed. And you go American History X on that asshole. We never fucking know. We never know if you could have been the beast. Like, we saw exactly what happened.
I agree.
Mark nearly crashes when he decides to go for it with Zarco, and he nearly crashes, but he saves it. But what if he decided to go for it because he saw P4 Dovi? It's a whole different ball game, or P2, P3, whatever it was. I simply think we got robbed of the definitive answer because fucking George decided to map 86, the whole fucking fandom, and shit all over us. I mean, fuck this guy, for reals, dude.
It's hard to argue. I mean, look, it's we'll never know, and that's the bigger issue, right? We can debate it back and forth a million ways, but the bottom line is we'll never know, and he robbed us of that possibility, and that's right. That's the hard part. I don't.
No. Fuck that. I have an argument. I have an argument for Kevin. Listen, that particular example. No, he wouldn't have. He wouldn't have worry about the Vizioso being behind it because he knows it's not enough for Dovi to win if Marques is like higher than 12. The only reason that he passed Zarco was because he wanted to win the title, winning the fucking race.
Could you imagine though if Marquez, look, I get it. He could have gone Ben Speed's World Superbike style and just cruised around in 5th and got a win. Do you think Marc Marquez, if Dovi catches up to him, thinks, I'm going to let this hassle by and fucking let him win because I have to get anything better than 12th? That's not going to happen. Marc Marquez is not going to sit there and let a different guy have more wins than him in a season and be fucking cool with it. Marc Marquez, all this vaunted talk about he won the title in Marquez style by saving the thing and nearly crashing. All that's fucking dope. But Marquez is too young and too full of cum to fucking deal with, Dovi riding past him and then going on to win and stealing the victory. Because remember when Jorge won the title but Rossi won that race back? That's all anyone fucking talked about. Not Jorge winning the title. They talked about Rossi coming back from injury. Remember that?
Yeah.
It don't fucking matter. And if Dovi goes on to win the race or beat Marquez to it, they're all going to say, well, if it wasn't for Alicia Spargaro, or is Marc Marquez actually the best? He just fucking lost more races to Dovi this season. You know what I mean? Like, I simply think...
There aren't too many times where we actually remember like the races specifically when talking about previous championships, right? Most of the time it's Marquez was the fucking champion. But you put that in there where prior. You put that in there of like he didn't win as many races as Dovi, then that's when people finally actually do remember the races. And there's no way I would put money on it that Marquez will never win a championship and not have won the most races. Like he is that rider. He's going to make sure that he wins the most races in the season and tries to dominate it as much as possible.
Right, tries to dominate as much as possible. Title of Rob Sexton.
Even though he did tie for this. Even though he tied for this year. So never mind. I'm already fucked.
Trust me, no HIV. Trust me.
Right. I'm just saying. Look, Ev, I agree with you in a sense. I don't think at this track Dovi had it. I don't. But what if Joe Frazier stood up at the end of that last round instead of staying seated? You never know, right? You know what I'm talking about, the thrill in Manila.
Yeah.
What if he got up?
I get it.
I just feel that there was a showdown that never happened. And the other thing, Marquez... Go ahead.
No, I got a hard segue there. Can we talk about the showdown that never happened?
Yeah,
final showdown. Hashtag final showdown. So dumb.
No, the fucking race that we never got. The Maverick Vinales versus Marc Marquez race that we were waiting for.
We never saw it all year.
Fuck.
Can I just say? Can I just say, as far as Yamaha's concerned, they actually make Lorenzo's move to Ducati a genius move.
No, No, they don't.
Just because of how bad they are right now. Like,
they planted the wrong guy there.
I hate
That's a
arguing
conspiracy. I like it.
I hate arguing hypotheticals because all you do with a hypothetical is reinforce your preconceived notions. But I guarantee you, Jorge wins a race in 2017 on the Yamaha.
Oh, it's
guarantee you. There's no way
absolutely.
he doesn't. Yeah, you say, oh, absolutely. He didn't win a race this season. He had less podiums than fucking Danilo Petrucci, like a random European superstock champion. This was a dumpster fire of a year for Jorge. He absolutely would have done better on the Yamaha this year.
I mean, dude, he's going to run map 7 next year. He'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I still love that the maps are ABC.
It's
7 minutes in map 7 heaven.
Right, it's so dumb. Okay, let's be real. He's a world champion. He'll figure it out. That bike is way different, right? It's going to take time. It's a different beast, whatever you want to call it. So
yeah, I mean, it did take
agree.
time. He didn't have a hand in the preseason development all that much because Ducati had already built that bike, right?
That
like,
is
it's all
such
Piro.
horseshit. GG straight up said they were going to focus on building a bike that was more for Jorge. They absolutely fucking said that after the first fucking Valencia test. They straight up said
That's
it.
fake news, bro.
the best
That's
part is
fake
they probably did. They probably did. They still couldn't figure it out. And Dovi's like, "Oh, it's getting better, guys. Thanks."
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
but my development doesn't go that quick at Ducati, right? Like they're still on. They don't produce 8 chassis throughout the year, and they didn't make drastic changes to
Right,
build a
yeah.
bike for Jorge. They focused on what they knew would worked. They did the slow development process with Piro and taken some input from Stoner. Like I would say that Casey Stoner had more input into the Ducati than Jorge Lorenzo because he's ridden the bike for longer and he's been there. I guess. We will see the fruits of Ducati building a bike for Jorge next year. We will see it at the Valencia test potentially, and
Rob,
in the winter.
Rob, that's
But
a really
look,
good
I
point,
mean-
though. Real quick, Kev. That may be the point, though, is that these bikes now take 3 years to adapt to, not just 1 year, not just 2 years. And so
That is horseshit. Maverick won his first race on the Yamaha. He won the 3 of the first
then what
5
happened to
races.
him? Where the fuck is he?
You can't say he didn't adapt. He won Look,
It was
if
a
Jorge
fluke.
won 3, if Jorge won 3 races this year, we would talk about how it's a fucking revelation.
Everyone's still asleep.
Right, he's still, but he's not. Look, Maverick. I'm not trying. Look, he
It was
a
the first
disappointment.
rounds.
We've talked. He won on European soil. It wasn't like he won only like Argentina and Qatar. Also, he won
something
in
fucking
fucking
happened, dude.
France. He won a European round. They changed the tires. Look, Maverick clearly has development problems with the bike. Rossi was not doing well all off season, complaining, and a lot of people didn't listen to him because Maverick was too busy winning the testing world championship. But
That's a good
and
way
then
to
he
put it.
fucking dumps his girlfriend for some side piece. That girlfriend goes starts fucking Scott Redding. Now they love each other on Instagram. They have their dog, and I mean the problem is that Maverick quit. At some point, and that quitting is proof in this race when on Sunday morning, both him and fucking Rossi decided we're just going to race the 2016 chassis with 2017 engine in it to get some data to get a head start on the test. They fully quit that race. That there was 2 factory Yamahas who had no interest in winning the race in that final race, which is some fucking bullshit, by the way. They were basically playing prevent defense football style, which has never worked out for anyone in the history of football ever. And
I feel like Yamaha was cool with it because they expected Zarco to be up front. So they're like, all right, we got someone up there at the front. Like you two go fix your shit. Like we just have Zarco up there. It's all
right,
good.
exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people, if you haven't read all the news articles and stuff, yeah, Yamaha, the factory Yamaha team switched to the other chassis. Rossi has since said, like in the interviews after the race, like the chassis, it felt better. It essentially made them easier for them to hold the pace, at least for the first half of the race. Unfortunately, their rear tire degradation problems came back with that older chassis. So, I mean, we can say peak frame
frame
again. Yeah.
Peak fucking frame.
It's just Yamaha is incapable of making a bike that is better overall than what they had in 2016. They fixed the rear tire degradation a little bit with the 2017 and the 27 version 2 chassis. Unfortunately, they made it more difficult to ride and a little bit less confident on the front end, and that hurt them in other aspects. They also ruined their ability to produce rear grip in varying conditions. So maybe that extra rear tire degradation, right, on the older chassis was because they were generating more heat, and that helped them to have more grip in all conditions. Yet the new bike, better degradation, not working out with the drive. It's crazy. They fucked up the second half of this whole season, and I hope it doesn't ruin their winter and lead into a shit first half of next season. But that's kind of how this development goes. Like we've already talked about it. It takes a very long time to fix these issues. Like Honda has slowly improved throughout this season, and for them, they didn't really make any missteps, whereas Yamaha has done the opposite. They were working on a problem, and they made crazy missteps, and they've gone backwards. Right? Yep. They need to get on. They need to get on top of it, and not
quite
make
literally.
mistakes.
They are using an older chassis. They're literally going backwards. I mean, it's not even like a metaphor.
We gotta go back to the peak
literally
frame.
using an older bike, wondering if it's better than the new bike, which means they are going backwards.
They listened to Brother GP. They heard about peak frame.
Yeah, right.
And I have a point here that I want to think is that for many years, the Yamaha was the most neutral bike. It was best across a variety of conditions. And you can't see me, but I'm like pushing my hands out to the sides. I'm like miming very well right now.
With a variety of riders?
A variety of conditions. It was neutral. Anyone could ride it. It was a variety of conditions. It was so stable. All that. But what have we seen happen in the last couple of years as Michelin's come on is that we've seen it's becoming that each bike is hyper-specific at one thing or maybe two things. Look at the Ducati. It's got clearly the most investment in aerodynamics by far, and they also have this crazy software. So the sharp end of their stick is very specific. It's aerodynamics and software.
That's the one thing that produces is drive. That's what Ducati's got. They've got fucking drive.
And then what does Honda have? They have a guy who's developing a hyper-specific style in which losing the front is no longer a worry. Could you imagine, Rob, if you were an engineer and you were designing a bike in which losing the front end wasn't a problem?
I mean,
it changes
the whole... about an advantage, right?
It's hard. That's a hell of an advantage, right? The Honda was not the best.
Man, You just really make me want to see Marquez on the Ducati.
I have said from the get-go I want to see Marquez and Ducati, and the answer to him being the GOAT is moving to Ducati or maybe KTM.
Man, you make Dennis realize how right I was.
Right, but the point being is that the other manufacturers did extremely well this season they all had an ace up their sleeve, and being neutral is no longer an ace up your sleeve. You needed an advantage that is so much of an advantage that it's hard for anyone to deal with, and Yamaha didn't have that this season. Honda and Ducati both had that. Suzuki no longer had concessions, which is a pretty dope advantage, and they had two new right. Concessions is a sweet advantage. You get more engines and more testing. That's a pretty good advantage.
Please.
I would like a concession stand, please. I would like an order of 8 extra engines and 4 extra testing days, please.
You'd like your actual unlimited pizza. That's what you really want.
That's what I'm saying. That was fucking horseshit.
God damn it, Rob.
God damn it, Rob. Last year, Suzuki had unlimited pepperonis, bro. Just every fucking day. Maverick is winning races because they got concessions. They got a fucking buffet of engine parts. They got a buffet of frames.
A buffet.
So, anyways, my point being is that Yamaha at some point needs to figure out what is the thing we're going to be the fucking best at and be the best at it. Because right now, a neutral bike isn't happening because they reached that perfect peak neutralness. They basically became Sweden. Peak Sweden has happened, and it's not working out. Peak.
I mean,
Sweden.
that was like literally the first race that they've never talked about Rossi.
Oh God,
Who?
yeah, the whole weekend.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. It was weird, right?
And you know what happens?
No, it wasn't bad actually. It was nice.
Yeah, you and me both.
Okay, clutch slip. Hashtag anyone but clutch slip. Hashtag fuck that guy, seriously, I don't care, I'm not even on that site much anymore, so that guy can fucking choke on a cock. Quit being a bitch in front of everyone.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
God, stop making me worried,
Be
Kevin.
a fucking friend to people, shithead.
I mean, I think one of the reasons why peak vanilla, peak Sweden, peak frame isn't working anymore, or peak neutrality, it's not working anymore. It's because of the variability that we're getting in the tires, right? Like,
hold on, Rob. I want to explain to you something.
Yeah.
For anyone who's been to Sweden, knows Sweden, I have family in Sweden. Peak Sweden is a dish called Surströmming, and it is pickled herring fermented in a can for 10 to 15 years. It smells so bad that if you open it outside, your neighbors will reach out their window and wonder who's eating Surströmming. The most Swedish thing in the world, aside from blonde chicks with big tits, is Surströmming. And Surströmming is the most foul, disgusting, stankiest thing you've ever been in since apparently last night with Josh Heron and some sluts. But you think Sweden's going to be dope. It's neutral. It's socialist. Everyone's got healthcare. Everyone's got education. All the chicks are hot. Everything's great. And you're reaching Sweden, peak Sweden, peak Sweden. Then you boom, Surströmming, and Is that fermented fish that's so bad that most people puke from the smell alone. And what I'm saying is the Yamaha frame is the moto equivalent of Surströmming in the wet or in greasy conditions. It smells like shit. No one likes it. Some people want to say they like it simply to be cool, but you're all fucking bitches and everyone hates it. Peak Sweden happened, and it happened in the Yamaha garage.
It looks terrible.
He Googled the dish. I was hoping you were going to relate that back to their rear tire grip.
Look, all of you guys can look up Surströmming. There are multiple YouTube videos where people open it and they start to puke. I've had it. I wolfed that shit down on a cracker with some cheese, bitch, like it was no thing.
Why would you tell us
good.
that? You're making
because
my hangover's not doing good with this.
What's that?
Afterwards,
Dennis, this is for you. What's that stinky Malaysian coconut thing?
What?
What the fuck? I'm not
know,
Malaysian,
but you should
motherfucker.
know this. I know what you are. Maybe it's Filipino. I don't know. It's a stinky like coconut thing. I saw it on. They cut it open and it stinks really bad.
Are you talking about durian, which is definitely not Malaysian?
That's it.
Yeah,
what is that? Is it Filipino?
Right. It's a fucking fruit.
That's a fruit. No, it's either
fruit.
you find it in like Japanese or Chinese like candies and stuff.
I thought it was
and
Malaysian,
baked goods. No,
anyway,
right next to fucking chickens. Fucking sashimi.
So this fucking herring, this herring thing is like the Swedish version of that. It's just stinky. Nasty?
Because durian's actually pretty good. It just
But
smells bad.
no, Surströmming's not that bad. Straight up, it's not that bad. You throw in a cracker with some Swiss, and the shit is legit because the Swiss is also neutral as fuck. So it neither takes a claim. But here's the problem.
A lot of neutrality going on.
There's a lot of neutrality, but the problem is at some point you reach peak Sweden and you're not against Nazis. And you have to be against Nazis. And I'm against bad grip in the wet. And bad grip in the wet is the moto equivalent of Nazis. So you gotta have grip in the wet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you do. You do have to
Is
grip in
that
the
title?
wet.
Can
Title
that be a title of Rob's sex tape?
I'm just trying to work out where Nazi and grip in the wet is. Like, I'm
boy,
trying here.
Don't
touch it. Title of Rob's sex tape.
Damn it!
Oh boy.
The best part is y'all think that the 20-year-old fermented fish is the weirdest thing I've eaten while traveling. It's not even close. Not even close.
Give it. I'm not even going to ask because I feel like you got to save it for another episode.
You He's drank like bull semen and shit. This kid's drank everything.
To be fair, you're not really ruining any movie plots like for us this time. But we got a lot of food going on, so I think that's the theme of this episode. For Kevin's crazy food
stinky
stories.
Stank food.
Yeah, fucked up food.
I ate
Fucked
a
up food
barbecue
is the theme of this
tarantula in
episode.
Guatemala. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I could see
What
that.
was that?
Being, like,
What the
that
fuck?
was a phone vibrating. It wasn't mine.
It was mine. I
Anyways.
gotta catch that.
Back to Yamaha really quick. My problem is like, look, man, I was big on Maverick. I still like Maverick. I don't know, the dog, girlfriend, Instagram thing is a little weird. But like, the problem that really threw me off is these guys straight quit in this race. They literally on Sunday morning were like, you know what? Fuck it. Throw the engine in 2016 chassis. Let's see what happens. And rolling the die randomly, unless it's a loaded die and it's a contrived ceremony that everyone hates, ain't that great. The fact that these guys fully just gave up on the season and said, you know what, we're just gonna fucking test.
To be fair, they finished pretty much exactly where they would have had they used the 2017 chassis.
I want to say something right now, Rob. If they finished pretty much where they would have, includes the fact that one of them finished behind Tito Rabat. Y'all need to go fucking harry-carry. Someone needs to harry-carry themselves yesterday.
And and that's what's going on.
Can we just cut Yamaha some slack?
What?
I mean, this is like the first time they fucked up their bike in like a decade.
Has it really? Are you sure?
Did we ever cut HRC
I mean,
slack?
come on.
The first
When was
time
the last
20
season?
2007. 2007 was a pretty shitty year for Yamaha, and one
for everybody but
one
Ducati.
contribute that to Bridgestones, which Rossi did, and then when he got Bridgestones, he won the first year. Dennis is right. This is the first year Yamaha straight up got it wrong, dog. Like
Very.
Fully wrong. They read the
Fully,
vibe wrong.
man.
They tried to put a finger in the back door, and that bitch was out after that. They read that vibe wrong.
That was not. Disclaimer: that's not my fucking point at all.
Yeah.
That was. I don't know what that. That's
Sorry,
from the back door.
you got roped into that one, Dennis. It's Yamaha we're talking about, right? They will make 17 more chassis in the winter, and they will find one that works for both Rossi and Vinales. And we're not going to get like a Casey Stoner effect from them or anything, because they're actively working on it. They've been aware of these problems since the second or third round, right? Like they've been on top of it.
Right, which is why I'm not gonna retract my 28 prediction that Maverick Vinales.
Are we back to fucking square one, boys? Are we really doing it?
Yeah, Dennis. I mean, Dennis hasn't been on a lot of those episodes.
How many hobo dollars do I gotta win?
Right.
You guys don't learn.
You're going to be wrong
Because
sometime.
here's the point. Mark Marquez did lose to a Yamaha. He won his rookie season. Then he went on an epic run where he broke the record for most races. And then what did he do, Everett? He lost to Jorge Lorenzo. So, Mark Marquez is one of the most talented and naturally gifted and hardworking athletes there is. But the dude is not he is incredible, but his run of wins, his four include a 6-race win season in his first 4. You know, his rookie season, I think he had like 6 as well. This is not a guy who enters the class and then has a bunch of 9-11 race wins like Valentino did. Even in his 14 win or what his 2014. Hold on. You can get started. Don't get me wrong. But even in the season in 2014 when he won those crazy races, we talked about it. He won a lot of those races very closely. The guy was beatable, and this season, even though he won the title, does show he's not running away with stuff. This dude has won multiple titles in the final race of the year. He's also lost titles in the final race of the year. So what I'm saying is, if Yamaha gets it right, the idea that he loses isn't weird, because it's already happened. This guy didn't burst on the scene and win 4 titles straight. There's breaks in between, and there's seasons where his biggest rival was Andrea Dovizioso, not necessarily a guy most people consider a generational talent.
No,
I was going to say
you make
the
a
same
good
thing,
point,
yeah.
but I
Damn,
think,
Dennis, you'd have been hella smart if you said all that.
I think I think the comparison to Rossi and Rossi's like kind of mid years, we'll call them, is inappropriate, because there was really nobody else and no other bike that was competitive. I mean, Rossi was, you know me, I'm a hater. He was constantly capitalizing on the best bikes. There was really only one guy competing. It was Gibernau, then it was Biaggi. There was always one guy, one antagonist, right? And you look at today's championship in the last couple of years, it is a crapshoot, to your point, and yet he's still coming out on top, and that's what's making him so good. So I think the other piece that's getting really interesting is that the Honda has been kind of a pile of shit for the average rider across the pack. Yet we even saw Rabat and Miller getting pretty competitive, yet Cal can't figure it out, which is shocking. But the Honda seems to be getting better. Yeah, the Honda, but I get the sense that it might be getting better overall. And if it's getting better, does it make it easier for Marquez?
But is it getting better? He won less races this year than he won last year, and he won less races this year than he won in 2014. They peaked in 2014, and while he has multiple titles, every title is closer, and every title is less wins.
I mean, and you bring up the Valencia results. Like, the Valencia race was 15 seconds slower than last year. Even though the conditions were, like, temperature and the sun being out and stuff, conditions were almost as good as you get at Valencia, the final round of the season. Like, there's something going on here with Honda.
Oh,
that
the tires.
Can't really...
No, the tires. The tires, always.
But
15 seconds is tires.
I'm saying there's something going on with the Honda that, like, if you're wondering if the bike is actually better, like, you got to look at all those other riders. The fact that Cal can't wrap his head around it, and he's like practically like Danilo Petrucci right now in the dry, just something just doesn't fucking work for him, right? Like,
I think it's between his ears, but what do I know?
I will give this credit for Everett. Like, look, I'm not a big fan of Mark, but I recognize that he is a generational talent, perhaps even a once-in-a-lifetime talent. The Honda sucks. It's not the best bike this year. It's better than the Yamaha, but it's not as good as the Ducati, and it's difficult to ride, and the rest of the guys show that. This isn't like 2004 when the Honda gets won by multiple riders, right? And even though they don't win the title, a lot of riders win. That bike is hard to win on, and Danny sucked for most of the year. Sucked balls. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing for Pedrosa. It was the first time where I was like, man, maybe this guy needs to hang it up for reals. And,
I agree.
I think Mark Marquez is being absolutely let down by that Honda. If he was on the Ducati, I think he wins 9 races this year.
Oh,
what?
No, yeah, I'd agree with that one. Yeah,
that again.
The upside down, bro.
I love Dovi. My D is out. It's all good. There's a giant fucking cannoli on the end of it for Dovi. Don't get me wrong.
Speculating is so much fun, though.
Fuck, put that back, please. Put that back.
Right.
Wipe
But
that
Dovi
cannoli
won
off,
a
man.
lot of races this year on the Ducati, and I simply do not believe that Marc Marquez... I do not believe that Dovi is as close to natural talent as Marc Marquez is.
No way. It was the concept that the Ducati was finally the best bike to ride, and he could capitalize on that.
Whoa.
Right.
They were looking extremely dominant at moments early in the season. What happened was a standard thing. Everyone kind of caught up, figured their shit out. You get to mid-year, the Honda kept progressing, and it starts to really taper away from everything else. The Yamaha...
Well, the manufacturers and everyone, it went in waves, right? Like, Yamaha had quite a few wins in the first third of the season. Then Ducati came on strong, and then Honda put it together towards the end. Like, if I had to make it really simple, that's how I'd classify it, right? And we will probably see that again.
Yeah,
we'll probably see that again because of Michelin's and because of crazy variable conditions and because of the spec software, right? Like, there's a lot that needs to go into actually getting wins now because the whole entire grid is so close. You gotta get shit together.
You know what else goes into getting the wins though for some of those? Speaking of the grid is close and a lot of manufacturers, concessions, dog.
Yeah.
Who has concessions next year?
Zook.
It's back.
Yeah,
they get him
because
again.
they didn't even get a podium, right?
Right, so they have them again, and now they got fucking party till you fucking train and fuck all winter long, Yonone. And hey, Rins went from like 90th to 4th, which was pretty sick. I think you see next year that Suzuki looks a little bit better, but I mean, what the fuck happened? Rins came out of nowhere for like a solid 4th. That was crazy. Stashed up. I mean, Tom Selleck, Clark Gable. Perfect stash. I mean, a fucking just manliness. I mean, the kind of stash that would get
like
so much respect in India.
Like a boss.
You know,
And they ran the winglets again. Of course, they had to.
Right. It was Movember.
Yeah, that's right. I love the Movember stickers all over the bike. Oh man,
I love that I literally came up with the mustache ride, like, and then these assholes decide to have a mustache winglet, and it's Movember. Like, did they fucking listen?
Coincidence?
Do you guys
I think
want
not.
me to be? Do you guys want me to be your social media manager that you posted an ad for? Because I'll do it. I'll fucking do it.
Rins totally got the memo because he did not have a solid mustache like that, and then he heard it, and it was.
I didn't know he could grow
2 or
one.
3 episodes, yeah. Oh, it was solid.
Bro, he's Spanish. He can grow
solid
a stash.
9.2. It was a solid 9.2.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. That's a 9.2. At least a solid 8.9 all day long on that thing.
Yeah. On the European ranking system, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Exactly. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 7 being the best, it was clearly a 6.8. Okay, so this begins the 90-minute Alex Rins mustache portion of the episode, in which
the next 30 minutes will be about Alex's mustache.
A significant portion of our Instagram followers wanted us to hyper-specifically discuss his man stash. As I consider myself a mustache connoisseur. Being Italian, I can grow a thick, manly man. Like, I can grow everywhere from a Tom Selleck to a handlebar Doc Holliday to a perfect pencil-thin Clark Gable. It's all good. I can cover the whole gamut of stashes. And
so many
Alex
options.
Rins there's so many options. That's the thing about stashes. There's so many options. There's really only one stash you can't have.
The fucking
There's really only
Hitler,
one.
the Hitler stash, yeah.
That you can't have, unless you're Michael Jordan, because he did that. That was weird. Why did he have Hitler stash?
Just because he could. He's fucking Michael Jordan.
I forgot about that.
Right.
About that.
Right, exactly.
I gotta Google that real quick.
Google. Yeah, everyone Google Michael Jordan's Hitler stash. That was a weird time, but it was an epic stash. There was and this is my problem. I want to tell you guys right now. It was Movember for Suzuki. That's fucking awesome. It's hilarious. I was in. Suzuki was like, well, we're not getting the results, so let's get our sponsors and our team coverage in a different way. I totally respect that. That's what I would have done if I was their media manager. Where was Yanone's stash? Where was my man's stash? Why was Rins the only one who was man enough to stash it up? I don't understand what was going on. All the pictures are of like Yanone slathering up Rins in mustache in fucking shaving cream like it's 1943, and he's using the little brush like my grandpa did every morning, and he's covering it up. Oh, I just hit the microphone. Sorry guys. And because I was doing the like with the brush on my face, like miming, so I hit the microphone on accident. And then Rins just fucking doubles down on the stash and gets fourth, and Yanone doesn't. Yanone, bro, you need a stash, and you need it yesterday. You need a stash. You gotta grow it. Let's do this thing right now. Grow it out, and then shave the top portion under your nose and right on the lip so it looks like it's almost drawn on. And I'm telling you, you'll get a win next year. If you have a drawn-on stash, win next year.
I think it's a good idea. 2 points. 1, I think Michael Jordan got away with it because he was black. So first point. Second point.
Damn!
I'm serious. How can you compare him to Hitler if he's black? I mean, he's clearly not. He can't be. How's that gonna work?
Stop digging your grave, bro. Stop digging your grave.
Move on.
A lot of guys, if they grow a stash, it's kind of creepy. But But Neil deGrasse Tyson grows a stash, and it's fucking distinguished.
Yeah, his is classy.
It's classy. When you are a light-skinned fellow, there's a fine line between distinguished and creepy as fuck. And
You know
it's
what's
just, it,
You know what's
It's
fucked
rough.
up?
That's rather interesting.
I tried to Google Alex Rins mustache. If you Google Alex Rins mustache, you get Alex Marquez. How fucked up is that? He has no mustache. That's fucked up,
the
dude.
fucking that dude probably doesn't even have pubes.
Oh, damn. TMI, bro.
TMI.
But that's the other... That was my second point about Alex Rins. I mean, how old is he again? Like 20?
Alex Rins had a shitty season. He fucking like straight up
I
broke
know.
his back.
But how old?
And then had no mustache for a long time.
How old's that guy? But that's...
You
Hey,
have
I got a question
Oh.
for you guys for Suzuki. Who in 2018 will have their first Suzuki podium, Rins or Yamaha?
Probably Rins.
I mean,
Look,
Oh,
Go
can
ahead,
they
Ron.
can
Go
they
ahead,
even can they even podium? Like the field is getting more competitive.
I can't even.
don't
concessions,
don't,
bro.
Don't change that.
Concessions.
New motor.
Yeah,
New motor.
but
New motor.
but
new
can
motor.
they actually take advantage of it? Right? Like we always question the Suzuki commitment. This is their chance to commit and make. They get 2 extra motors. They get to there is no engine freeze for them. Right? They can actually keep developing it. They can go test. But this year, like they were allowed to test this year, but they didn't really accomplish anything. Right? Like they had
Rob,
yeah.
Rob,
Yeah.
They're cheap.
Rob. Pretend they
answer the
pretend
question.
they can. Is it
Answer the
Yamaha or
fucking
Rins?
question, Rob.
No,
Yes.
no.
Rob,
I'm taking
Rob.
option C.
Rob,
You're fired.
what do we have to do to get you to take a shot?
To take it of alcohol or
Yeah, whatever
what are you
whatever
talking
you got.
about?
Yeah, go in, buy a little mini bottle, and drink a bottle of vodka. Something.
No, this fucking Chevron is like closed at like 8 p.m. It's
Jesus
fucking weird.
Christ.
If,
You're not
if you
fun.
guys are just tuning in, Rob is on the side of the road at a random
And he's
Chevron
hungover.
recording this, hungover as fuck
After-
on like 4 hours of sleep.
After a track day at Laguna.
Next to a veterinarian clinic, which by the way is like the plot of the opening of like.
Are we
Terminator
talking
3 or
more
something?
Terminator? Because I'm going to go.
Rally time.
Rob, big stall.
Holy shit! It kind of does look like that.
Rob,
It kinda
Rob,
looks
this is
like
gonna
it.
be the longest episode ever, and you'll never get sleep. Just think about that.
Oh
for a second.
god, whatever. Everyone's gonna give me shit for like, hey, I thought you said you couldn't record on the side of the road. And like, I know Everett managed the meeting this time. He finally got it together.
Look, if I
But
can
I still have
record
to
in
edit this shit later.
Iceland at 3 in the morning, Rob can record drunk on the side of the road. It's not that big of a deal.
I took
It's
an
not
hour
just-
nap. I took an hour nap before this to put it together.
Kev's in Iceland. He's like, it's light out. It's 3 a.m. I'm in a rental car. It's fucking. It's still
Yeah, weren't you
sunlight out.
freezing in your rental car?
It was so fucking cold. It was so cold. It was so cold. Because even summer in Iceland is colder than shit. But yeah, no. I mean, there is no bigger fan of Yannone than me. The dude lives the life we all wish we could have. That dude
Yep.
parties so hard that on fucking Sunday night, I don't know what happened, but something was so contagious that all the riders and all the mechanics no-showed on Monday. I mean, they
Tuesday.
called in Tuesday. They
Tuesday.
called in drunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it was so bad on Sunday night that they had to skip Tuesday.
everyone's dick was itchy and burny as fuck that night. I mean, they all woke up on Tuesday and they're like, I can't piss. It hurts too much to piss. Like, I mean, last year, Andre Yannone had an adrenaline molecule on the side of his bike, and fucking tomorrow, I guarantee all of you, he has a chlamydia molecule on the side of his bike. It's not that big of a deal. You get the fucking chlamyds, you get a fucking pill, you're all good, it's good to go, and everything's solid. But I mean, they all woke up, and look, Andre Yannone's had chlamydia like 90 fucking times. It's no thing. But Alex Rins was freaking, I guarantee you. He had the clap all day, and he was freaking out. And the reason Yannone couldn't fucking ride is because he had to console Rins and walk him through the clap stuff. And now it's all good, though. Like, Rins is going to get chlamydia like 3 or 4 more times if he's partnered with fucking Yannone.
Now he knows what's up. Yeah.
Now he knows what's up. And once Rins figured out the chlamydia was no big thing, he's barebacking it for days, son. He ain't even worried anymore. First of all, they got no concessions and no condoms, and that's how Suzuki does it.
And
and they got plenty of winglets.
And here's the most realistic answer: Suzuki's too cheap to test. So you know what? They just didn't show up.
There it is. Yeah, which is my point. Which is why the concessions aren't going to fucking work for them for next year, and they're not going to podium.
Question. Dennis, I have a question for you. Which is the more realistic scenario? That Suzuki was too cheap to test, or that Iannone had chlamydia on Tuesday morning?
I think Dennis had to go take a piss. So,
all right, Rob,
you got ghosted. Yeah. I'm going with
fuck
more.
This guy. I'm out.
I think it's more likely that Iannone got chlamydia and couldn't piss. I think that's more likely.
I mean, did you see Rins' Umbrella Girl? Look, I ain't trying to objectify women. It's 2017, but woman was solid. I mean, she was. This was not the Phillip Island or Sepang chick or Phillip Island chick. This was whoa.
The whoa. Okay, yeah.
I mean, whoa. You know. So, I mean, I'm just saying, if one of those things, because we all saw at the end, Ducati they all had a drink, right? And that's kind of like drowning your sorrows or bros. We gave it our best shot, and we came up short, but damn if we didn't try. I mean, Jorge didn't try, fuck him and everything he stands for, but Ducati in general was like, damn if we didn't try. But Suzuki was like, 2017 is over, let's get drunk and fuck. Which I can respect. Yeah. And, no one could show up because they all got fucking wasted and got, chlamydia. So.
I mean, I will answer fucking... what was Dennis's original question? Is it it's Iannone or Rins for the podium? Who does it first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
I will... Based on the recent trends of increased performance, I will go with Rins because I feel like he's putting it more together and he's... Like, he started off really shitty this year with injuries, and he's had better and consistent solid results for the second half of the season. I think he will continue that upward trend, especially after getting assuming he gets a good winter in and doesn't hurt himself if they show up on Wednesday.
You said you said Iannone or Rins?
Rins. I'm going with Rins.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying a good offseason. If it was Iannone, I was going to be like, so you mean if he needs to just train him fuck harder in the offseason?
Yeah, right. No, it's just because they both gotta stay healthy. They gotta not get hurt early in the winter. They gotta go to every
Rins is going to do two things. Rins is going to do two things. He's going to go sunglasses shopping in the winter, and he's going to go fucking... Get
antibiotic shopping in the spring.
Mustache cream. He's going to get a new brush.
He's got to buy the little shaver. Yeah, that's true.
To answer Dennis's question while he takes a dump, because that's what he's doing right now. Just so you guys know, he left. He's taking a fucking dump. He's growing a tail right now, straight up dropping a growler.
I think that might be off limits.
Look, I love Iannone. He's straight up my favorite guy on the grid. I'll never bet against him, no matter how much of a stupid bet it is. The guy's my goddamn hero. Iannone is still more talented than Rins, in my opinion. And with concessions, and with a year under his belt, and maybe with Rins coming on strong and pushing him and making him have something to prove, I think Iannone. I hope they both podium. I was hoping that Iannone would do really well on the Suzuki. And remember last year, I was pretty hot on Rins for a while, more so than Zarco even, somewhere where I was potentially wrong.
But, I mean, Iannone like honey dicked us. Like he said, he really liked the chassis. The thing turned really well. But then once they got to actual racing, he had front end chatter issues, and he couldn't ride like fucking Andre Iannone. Like, that's just what happens in racing, right? Like.
He toes the line.
Stuff
well
can
too.
change.
He's towing the line well too. He's like Kyle Crutchlow. He knows how to say the right things, keep his job. The bullshit politics stuff.
The bullshit I don't know. Have you seen his Instagram? Is that really bullshit politics of things?
No, I mean saying the right things. I mean in the press releases and the interviews. Oh, the bike's working great.
Yeah,
we had a good day today. Testing. It's like, dude, you got last. You had a good day today. I'm pretty sure that's not a good day.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they stay healthy, the winter will go a lot better than last year, and it could set them up for good results early in the season. So they just gotta do it. It's just fucking hard work to make a motorcycle go really fast around a racetrack. Hard work.
It is.
Yep, and if you're, here's the thing. Iannone, he's a good-looking fellow. No, I mean a little. Rins is ugly as fuck. Rins is weird. Why does Rins have liver spots when he's like 19?
Because he's
why does Rins look like a slightly older dude who's dyeing his hair and it's clearly obvious? It's like too dark. Rins is a weird looking dude, and in my experience, weird looking people try a hell of a lot harder. So it's probably going to be Rins because they don't get to fall back on the fact. Like, Rins is only going to get to fucking slay Vaj if he's doing well. He's like shredded and good looking, and all his bros are shredded and good looking.
He's got a second job waiting.
He never has to say, I race MotoGP to get fucking chicks.
Dude, he's going to be a male model after. He has no problem.
Right. Rins has to say, I just podiumed. If Rins wants to be regulated to Malaysian ladyboys, that's cool. But if he wants to get them hot chicks, he has to say, I podiumed at Sepang. So he has more drive. Yonone is too good looking for his own good. That's the problem.
Right.
Whether he has a weird...
Kev, they both walk into a bar. Nobody knows they're motorcycle racers. Who do you think the hot chick goes to?
Yonone fucks like 8 chicks on his way out.
It's not even a question, Ev.
Right. That's the whole point, right? It's like, Rins,
Rob says
you gotta compensate, bro.
Time, but fuck you, Rob. I want to talk more about Yonone and Rins go into a bar.
And Yonone cockslaying.
Right.
He just pulls it out.
Yonone is now the cockslayer.
All right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the real question, and my man Moby6 points this out, has Ducati reached peak map 8?
Peak map 8. No, they were unsuccessful. They need to really refresh peak map 8 V2. Like, they got to figure that shit out.
That was like a math equation.
Yeah,
right.
A little bit.
So, I mean, if we want to enter the... one of the things that we like to do lately is we've been talking... We ask the listeners for questions. We have a lot of engagement, or as the tech types like to call it, traction on our posts.
Ooh, fancy words.
Oh my. And I definitely think that we have absolutely the best listeners and best fans of any podcast out there. Look, if you want to hear about the specifics of Lorenzo's lap times and sectors 1, 2 versus Dovi's 3 and 4, go listen to the Paddock Pass podcast. That's fine.
I got vetoed on that.
Right,
and I also
but if you want to know
truck.
whether Yonone and Rins are both sick or if it was a coincidence of dude sex, that's what you're going to get on MotoGP. You know, I mean, map 8 questions.
Start with low expectations and they will be met.
Yeah, exactly. My man James wants to know if Jorge's new Tysot watch tells when it's time to switch to map 8. That's just fucking clever. I don't have an answer for that, but tying in the Tysot, it's time to switch to map 8, that's a good comment. I really like
Dennis,
that one.
Is Dennis back yet? Dennis? Yeah. How do you pronounce Tissot? How do you pronounce the watch name? Okay, sorry, just confirming. Thank you.
Tissot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a very... Dennis, I have a very brodo question, and it leads into next year. We're going to do an episode on testing. We're going to do an episode after the Valencia is all finished up, but this is a good one. My man Nick Paul wants to know who will be worse next year, Simeon or Rabat.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
Very similar bikes they're both on. That's a straight-up shot for shittiest dude on the grid.
Wait, in GP?
In GP.
Somebody's been watching too much F1, motherfucker.
Flip a fucking coin. I don't know. Yeah, when's the F1 question gonna come on?
No, it's not gonna happen.
Wrong
Wait,
podcast,
are they?
brah.
So for Simeon
We have
is at
exactly
Avintia.
one fan. We have exactly one fan who's interested in F1 outside of Dennis. You know who you are. Don't think for a second that one fan who sends me F1 stuff and wants to know F1 that I'm going to talk about F1. You know who you are, and you're not getting that. We're not talking about it.
You're saying the name too many times.
Yeah, exactly.
No, wait. Do they have the
good.
exact same? Do Tito and Simeon have the exact same bike, or is Simeon on a 1 year older model?
Older.
Okay. All right. I mean, they're both old Ducatis.
Wait. Can somebody tell me what they'll be on anyway?
They're
what?
Tito.
Old Ducatis. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, it's fucking old Ducatis.
What?
No, are we talking GP14 old or GP15?
There will be
16.
16.
16.
Yeah, the entire grid,
That's
of
not that
Ducatis
old,
will be
man. That's not
will
that
be
old.
GP18s, GP17s, and GP16s.
They were 17, 18s. Get it right.
Wait, what?
So I actually, we're stretching. I have a really good question here, and this is kind of an esoteric question.
He didn't answer the question. Hold on.
Who cares? They're both gonna suck. Neither of them are gonna fuck hot chicks. Like, they're both just there so that KTM can beat some people.
I think Simeon will be irrelevant in MotoGP next year completely. The only thing he's doing is just bringing more money into that team. Yeah. Completely irrelevant.
I mean, it's either he's gonna be completely irrelevant or he'll be some complete anomaly. But
okay, I'm gonna throw something at you guys real quick. It's actually a serious
Title
question. Yeah, exactly. It's even though the guy wrote it as like a salty ass question where he's just mad because, not unlike Clutch Slip, he hates everyone, no one likes him, no one gets along with him, and he's just there to cause shit because he's a fucking grudgy old man. But my man Steve 41 brings up a good point. Steve, I heard that echo. Discuss why grown men throw a fit when they don't get the fairy tale ending to something in real life. You know what, man?
Because we fucking root for the underdog, and it's way more fun than seeing the same guy win another title.
Here's the thing, man. Real life sucks fucking balls for a lot of people most of the time. How many people do you know that like their right, why do you think we get wasted to do this podcast? Most people hate their fucking job. Most people don't really like their wife. Most people's kids get shitty grades and backtalk them a little too much, and most dudes are a little fatter than they prefer, a little balder than they prefer, and are working their fucking balls off to help their family, don't get the recognition for it, they're not making as much money as they'd like, and in general, just want fucking something sweet to happen. They want to see an everyman finally make it. They don't want to see another rich kid who got handed a silver spoon succeed on the backs of the working man again. I mean, fucking for reals, dude. The reason why everyone wanted Dovi to win is because Dovi was all of us. Dovi was the overlooked guy. He was the guy who got dropped and crawled and fucking tooth and nail all the way back to a factory bike, works his ass off, doesn't get the praise, doesn't get that, and finally gets in a position where he's winning. The reason why grown men get fucking upset when they look at the fairy tale ending, because in real life, the fairy tale ending is you fucking die. So for once in a fucking life, once in a while, we want to see fucking something cool happen so we can jump off our couch, and for one afternoon, we're stoked. And so we fuck our wife, who's a little uglier and a little fatter than we'd prefer, but so are we. A little uglier and a little fatter than we'd prefer, but for one fucking night, we bleed Ducati red, she puts on the red panties a la Conor McGregor, and the shit is dope. And that's why. We wanted Dovi to win, because we probably would have got laid if Dovi won.
Damn. Straight harsh Mamelo, dude. Damn. Damn.
Come on, Ev, you can lose that. You can lose that 10 pounds, Ev. You can do it. You can do it.
Damn, dude. No, I was looking in the mirror earlier. It was alright, dude.
Nah, you know what? I have to say, Everett's all good. He's taking care of himself.
Thanks,
he has
man.
a very lovely wife and a very lovely family. His house is quite nice. I'll tell you right now, most of y'all could fucking wish to be doing as good as my man Ev was doing.
Thanks,
Straight
Kev.
up.
Appreciate
Now
that.
people are gonna start hating on Ev.
This episode just jumped the shark.
Man.
You just became the GP villain, Ev, because
I might
now
have
people
to
are gonna hate
cry.
on you. You're now even more like
Right?
nepotism and fucking
Dude, Everett,
What?
all of his conspiracy theories just went out the window because he has like the fairy tale fucking lifestyle.
street cred gone, completely gone.
He's just a bored white guy over in Ulster, wherever the fuck he lives, right?
Yeah, well, don't be hating.
That's good defense. Good defense. Moving on.
You don't want... I'll tell you
Best
right now,
defense.
Rob,
Yeah.
You just told me to move on, so I froze
You
at
won't.
the first comment I was reading. You
Yeah.
don't want me to read this question. You absolutely
I want you
do
to
not
read it.
want me to read
Do
this
it.
question.
Do it. Just do it.
Okay.
As long as it's not one of the no-go topics. Go ahead. Zombie Rob
All right,
approves.
it's not technically a no-go topic, but my
Oh,
man
God.
Senior Duck wants to know. He's actually not sure if this is a relevant question, but if you had to be submerged completely in a tub of human feces or a tub of male cum, which would you choose and why? I don't have a choice. I'm just saying that's clearly what happened in Suzuki Garage
You
on
have
Sunday
to
night.
pick. Kev, you have to go first. You have to pick. You have to. You brought it up. You have to.
I'm taking jizz all day long.
No way! No way! I would
cannot
take the
put
dump,
me in
dude.
a tub of dump.
I would
A tub
definitely,
of shit.
absolutely take the dump.
I'm
You
not
will
doing
lose
that.
your man card if you get in the tub of jizz.
No,
look.
I'm
No,
also doing
look.
the jizz. Dude, I hate shit. Dude, no, I'm doing the
It's
jizz.
just shit.
I'm doing
it's
the
manure. It's poo poo.
Hashtag just saying jizz is protein.
All I'm saying is, I'm not trying to get pink eye. Pink eye is not a good look. And the chances of getting pink eye are significantly lower in a fucking tub of man goo than it is dump.
Jesus
I'm not
Christ.
trying to get
How
dump
is
in my
that a
eyes.
listener question that we even entertained? Ken,
I
you
ju-
twisted motherfucker.
Because I
All I
approved.
said was I stopped. Hold on. I got a real listener question. Do you think Lorenzo actually ignored the Matt Bate call, or was he
Absolutely.
actually trying to help Dovi? We can't ever know, but what do you think? Dennis, I want to know. Dennis.
I think he was helping Dovi.
No, that's
You
nice
so
of
you think he convinced himself that he was genuinely helping Dovizioso at that time?
Yes, I do.
All right, you don't think it was just something that he made up after the race to defend himself?
He genuinely
No,
convinced himself.
I mean,
but,
I think
yeah.
bringing it back to Ev's point, you got to look at the whole weekend. And if Lorenzo has been topping Dovizioso, the signs are right there.
But I mean, like, if fucking Jorge knew this by looking at the whole weekend, then why didn't he tell Ducati, like, hey, I need to lead this bitch to the front?
And here's
And
the
then
thing.
they
here's
don't
the
give
thing.
him map. Why did they give him map 9? Meaning, hey, go faster and lead Dovi
Wait,
up.
that's the thing. That's why I
We
asked.
saw in practice. Pirro fucking goes out to tow Lorenzo up. We saw this. Like, there was concerted, or there was actual strategy with Pirro and Lorenzo and all that. If Lorenzo really thought he had the better pace and he could tow Dovi to the front, I feel like that would have been an actual plan. Latch onto him and then catch. I just don't think that's what we saw.
No, but here's my biggest beef about the races. It's not so much Lorenzo ignoring it, whether he ignored it or not. It's the Ducati. Ducati can see the lap times. They can see Lorenzo was faster than Dovizioso. Like I can't. I was a little bit surprised that they insisted he drop a position, despite seeing the lap times. That was my beef.
It looked like he was holding him up. That's why.
But
It
that goes
wasn't
back
real.
to Kevin's original point on that, right? Like, Ducati essentially just wanted to see what would happen if you put Dovizioso in front of
Give
him.
him his
'Cause
chance,
there
man.
there are a lot of times where riders are 1/10 faster, and that means you can't make the pass unless that 1/10 is holy shit, the Chevron sign just like turned off.
Oh, shit,
what
they're
the
gonna get
fuck?
you, Rob. Get out of there, Rob. Leave.
Holy fuck!
Oh, T1000's coming, bro. T1000's coming.
Going to get robbed live on the fucking podcast.
Hey, we'll have the recording. We'll find him for you, Rob.
Rob's
might be
gonna
dead,
be the
but we'll get
second
him.
guy to get held up on a fucking gas station on this podcast.
Dude, I need
funny.
I am definitely not sleeping here now. I'm gonna fucking drive away from this gas station once we're done with this thing.
Poverty
Holy
gas
shit.
station doesn't even have
Holy shit.
lights.
It's the big fucking sign that's on the side of the freeway, the big Chevron, like the 40-foot tall sign. It's just fucking turned off. Oh yeah,
Gotta
whatever.
save that money, dude.
So
Goddamn,
one thing
goddamn.
that happened at the end of the race that wasn't talked about a lot, but that our fans really want to see discussed, and this is where MotoGP is clearly a cut above the rest. Y'all saw Hulk Hogan at Park Ferme, right?
Oh, I said exactly that. I was like, I gotta fucking ask Kev, is that actually Hulk Hogan?
It wasn't actually.
No, it wasn't.
Look, brother, it wasn't actually Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying, brother? But it was the guy that looked just like him. You know what I'm saying, brother? It was the guy that easily could have lifted Andre fully above his head in front of 195,000 people and slam him down, brother. Fuck, how does he talk like that? I talk like that for 5 seconds and I can't stop coughing.
Dude, he smoked a lot of
Holy
cigars. Come on.
That was weird. There was a guy who looked exactly like Hulk Hogan who was swole as fuck with a red do-rag in Parc Ferme.
Dennis, what were you doing there?
I don't know. I mean, I think Marquez is really into like American pop culture, with Captain America and shit like that.
Oh,
Knowing Dennis personally,
touche.
I know for a fact Dennis cannot grow a blonde handlebar mustache.
Challenge accepted. Challenge fucking accepted. You want to see a banana? Here's a 6 foot fucking banana right here.
Banana.
Oh man,
Do it, Dennis.
Kev, get us like one or two more.
All right, let's see. This guy we've never talked about for, Bossum Abadouini, wants to know, did I already mention KTM Moto 2? I don't know, Bossum. That's a question for you to answer.
What is that?
I don't know.
What's he talking about?
Because Oliveira, motherfucker. Again, did you mention it? I don't know. That's a weird question to ask me. Because you would know that better than I would.
I feel like Bossa mentioned it. But
Yes,
once again,
yes.
that it has not happened in Rob Zombie Rob's universe, because I haven't watched the race yet.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you not watch that? Oh.
Because I'm fucking in Monterey right now.
There's one answer. There's one question that actually a lot of people asked us, and it's, with Nick Harris finally gone, will you miss him? Fuck no, I won't.
Oh.
Fuck no, I won't.
No, there'll be no
Can
missing.
we talk about Dylan? No.
We'll miss
definitely
Dylan.
not.
We'll miss
Definitely
the fuck
not.
out of Dylan.
Let me hit on Harris for a second, and then
No.
Everett and Rob are going to talk about Dylan. And I'm not going to go big on it. I'm just going to say, look, Nick Harris was a legend. He called some great races, but he stuck around way too long. And no, I'm not going to miss him because he was terrible and he was a detriment to the broadcast. He should have retired 4 years ago, right at the beginning of the downslide. If not more, he was a detriment to the show. He did not enhance the show, in my opinion, in any way. I will not miss him. At this point, I don't actually care who replaces him. Take the guys from Moto 2 or Moto 3, stick them up. It's going to be a little rough at first. Let them get into their groove and be good. Harris was not good. I won't miss him. He had a hell of a career. I wish I could have half the career announcing motorcycles that Harris had, a third or 20% or 5% of what he had. But the last years were painful to listen to. I'm glad he's gone. And go write some books that I'm sure will be great, and do your thing.
I don't think we're gonna get any teething problems. As long as they move up, it's Matt Burt, who's been there with Nick Harris the whole time, and I'm pretty sure the other guy's name is Steve. As long as they move him up into GP and we have the same two guys commentating on all three classes, those guys have amazing chemistry. The technical knowledge is there. They don't talk over each other. They don't say the same fucking catchphrases every goddamn time. They don't talk about the corner names way too often. It's every mistake that we hate Nick Harris is commentating for, they don't do. It's just better. And so I don't think there are going to be teething problems as long as Dorna sticks with them. Dorna could surprise us, and they could fucking get the guys that do the World Superbike feed and bring them over, and that would be shitty. I don't think they'll go that far out of the loop. But moving on to Dylan, we don't know what the hell is happening.
That was a shock. There is a weird paddock cleansing happening right now. And it's throwing me off a little bit.
Dr. Martin Rins, Julian Ryder, and Dylan, Nick Harris. Like, Harris
Livio
was kind of expected. Oh, yeah, Livio Supo, the guy at Ducati. Ernesto Marinelli at Ducati. Yeah. Oh, no, the Michelin, the French guy from Michelin as well. He's moving to...
No way, a French guy from Michelin? Never saw that coming.
I know, right? He's leaving his position at Michelin. So the guy that Dylan would always talk to about the tires is not going to be there anymore. I think he'll still be in the paddock. I can't remember what they said he's going to do. But Dylan, I have no idea what he's moving on to. Like, we haven't really found out yet. It'll probably end up on Twitter and or Reddit at some point. But yeah, it was just mentioned in the announcing that he's not going to be in pit lane next year, and that kind of sucks.
It just bums me out.
Dylan was a talented dude, right? Like Everett said, and he had a pretty hard job. Like he had to he had to be right on top of who was on what tire, all the craziness that's happening in pit lane. Especially that dude was on it during flag to flag races. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude's like Courage Under Fire, Denzel Washington style. That movie kind of sucked actually, but I'm referencing it. Like he was really good at his very specific job, and I just wonder. He added a lot to the broadcast, and I wonder who's going to replace him and who's going to be able to do that. That's a fucking stressful job to be right. He was very rarely wrong with what he was talking about. You know what I mean? He caught so many things out of the corner of his eye on pit lane. He was in garages running around. He was an addition to the broadcast, unlike Harris, and for him to just kind of unceremoniously disappear is a little strange. Do you have any conspiracy theories on that?
I mean, he could be going to a team, which would be really cool to run one, but that's probably unlikely.
That's a conspiracy theory if I ever.
Well, no, it's just. I mean, what kind of speculation can we have? I don't even know if that's a conspiracy, right? But chances are he's probably getting gobbled up by some other motorsports broadcast, right? Some bigger fish, probably something with four wheels that pays better.
That's true. I mean, he could be going to do a different language broadcast. It could be not on the feed. It could be some other channel, right?
BSB. He could be having a family.
Every once in a while, they would accidentally press the button, and he would just be fucking rambling in Italian or Spanish. And I was like, holy shit, this dude is trilingual as a motherfucker. I mean, that
respect for Dylan. Mad respect for him and those skills. It's insane.
Yeah, I've talked a lot of shit about Harris, but I got nothing but positive to say about Dylan. Straight up. Nothing but positive.
I had some problems with Dylan a few years ago. Because the way that he presents information, like he tends to go on and on and on. Not that we don't do that here at BrotaGP, but he dramatically improved over the years. Like that's one thing that I really liked about him is he's consistently gotten better, and he's made his part of the broadcast better every single year. And it's gonna suck that he's gone. Like I hope that Dorna looks to replace him with someone that has a similar technical know-how. And that person just jumps into it head first and realizes like the big shoes that they have to fill. Like the whoever they replace for in the booth announcing, like filling Nick Harris's shoes, that person's going to be super intimidated. But don't worry about it, dude. Like just don't invent stupid catchphrases. You'll be fine. But whoever's filling Dylan's shoes, they have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
/thread, mic drop.
/thread. I like Dylan. I think Dorna letting him go. And here's the thing. 20 races, 22 races, you are seeing a lot of guys who've been in the paddock for a while straight bailing, bro. I mean, bouncing hard.
You think
that's
why? You think the schedule?
It's just too fucking much, dude. They were literally saying that some of these guys are going to be on the road during the flyaways for 6 weeks next year.
Oh.
A lot of, I mean... Look, man, I'm not even married with kids, and 6 weeks is a long time to be gone, man. I mean, Everett, you're literally a traveling salesman to a certain extent. Could you imagine me gone 6 weeks? That's just too fucking long. I don't know how much money you'd have to make for you to say, yeah, I'm not going to see the fucking wife and kids for 6 weeks. That's too much, dude.
Yeah, so that's my guess is he may be starting a family, right? So that's the big piece is once you do have kids, being gone for more than a week at a time is a big piece, right? So
you're going with Dylan. I thought we were talking about like Supo or Marinelli or
I'm talking about
anybody. In general. In general,
I gotta assume Supo's already got kids.
Yeah, for me, I could probably do Monday through Friday if I had to, and even that would be tough. But once you get past 7 days, you literally, like, your kids look different when you come home. You're like, what did I miss? And some people can get away with that.
And I don't want to get super serious for a moment, but I'm going to get super serious for a moment. The number one regret on dudes' deathbeds is I worked too much. Yeah. This is proven. It is all over. Nurses say it. Psychologists say it.
Hashtag not fake news.
Hashtag not fake news. Real talk for a moment. The number one say is I worked too hard and I missed my family. I missed my kids growing up. 22 races across fucking, 16 countries. It's just too fucking much. It's too much. And I think that for reals, I mean, a lot of Suzuki posted like they want a social media manager, and you saw some Yamaha, and everyone's like bombarding me with messages, and I looked at the requirements, and I'm like, man, I can't be away from my cats that long.
Yeah, let alone my own flesh and blood. Yeah,
let alone my kids and my wife. You know what I mean? And I think that Dylan Supo, he just won the Triple Crown riders, team, manufacturer. He won it with Ducati. He moved to Honda, brought Casey Stoner over, won it with Stoner, brought Marquez up, broke a shitload of records. What's left for him to do, man, except miss out on his family? And
serious Kev got serious.
Yeah,
for real.
I mean, but it happens to these guys, right? I mean, you look at, and I knew some people that would, what was his face? Liam, who used to do it, and some others. It's brutal. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart, that travel schedule. So, I mean, I couldn't do it. I'd like to. Maybe later in my life or something when my kids are older, but not right now.
I mean, fuck. Carol posted a thing saying, if you're a video guy who can do some editing, and his requirements were not like crazy. Carol's requirements were like met by a lot of hobbyists. You know what I mean? And he's saying, "I will give you money he was saying, like,
to travel the world."
Our home base is Monaco and the French Riviera, right? And he's still having trouble filling it. It's just too much.
Can I get one applicant?
Nobody wants to travel the world for a year and post dope videos of Carol and hang out with a fucking dude who's like number one thing other than motorcycles is blowing shit up. I mean, fuck. And he can't do it. If you can't get dudes that are gonna or chicks, because there's plenty of fucking high end editing chicks out there that can't take that job, you're starting to. That's writing on the wall. That's worrisome for the health of the series that you're starting to lose top tier talent, Supo and Dylan and a lot of other guys, because the travel schedule is too grueling. I worry about what that means for mechanics and team managers and all that long term. I'm actually a little bit worried by this idea that 20 races is doable. It's not.
I mean,
that's part of the problem.
It's more expense as well, right? Every time they gotta fly somewhere, it's more expense for the team. You gotta pay do the mechanics get a raise because they go to another race too?
Yeah, but remember, Rob, they always justify it because they get more money from TV rights and everything.
Yeah, no,
right?
I know.
So it's more about the grueling duration of it all.
Yeah, Kev, I do feel like you just filled Carl's spot for the videographer with your amazing plug of him blowing stuff up.
Look, Carl, all you assholes out there. We have a lot of listeners and a lot of fans. One of you guys can edit shit dope, and one of you guys is creative enough that if you want to join Carl on a worldwide whirlwind rockstar trip where every stop is effectively the Super Bowl, and your home base when not doing that is the French Riviera, fucking call her, bro. He's posted like multiple times. You don't want to get paid, you're getting paid for a year off. Most assholes leave college and take a year off. Your year off can be traveling the world with a fucking awesome, charismatic young dude who's got a lot of money and a lot of time and wants to invest in his personal brand. You could do a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah,
but I got cats, so I can't do it.
And that's the kind of person that it'll be. It'll be like a under 25 person that has those skills, that is able in their life to go and travel the world for an entire year.
But let me ask you something, Rob.
Yeah.
You can't run a race team on under 25 people with no attachments.
Yeah, I agree. You can thankfully get a videographer, but as far as a race team and the mechanics and such, you need people with years and years of experience to be at that top level, right? We're talking MotoGP here. We're not talking Moto America. We're not talking Wera Club Racing. You need better people than that. It's an interesting thing. We'll kind of see what's going to happen with the schedule. Maybe they'll bring it back down. Everyone kind of said years ago that 18 was already too much, and now we're going up from there.
Yeah.
And I can even tell you, we're a group of dudes who do a podcast, and 18 kind of seemed like a lot.
It was.
Right? It was, for reals. For reals.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. It wasn't too bad for me.
Hey, fucking dickers. Yeah.
What a dick.
Fuck you.
Hey,
Fuck you.
quality over quantity, motherfuckers. Work smart, not hard. All right.
Oh man.
Okay, there's one more thing.
Last question.
One more thing.
Last question.
There's one more topic we got to discuss. This topic may run 9 minutes, or it may run 90 seconds, or it might run 90 minutes.
Oh no.
But
Oh no.
Jorge's hair.
Oh, I forgot about it.
If you think I'm not going to talk about Jorge's hair, y'all in for a rude awakening. What in the holy fuck was going on with his hair? Why did he make a bunch of weird, secretive announcements leading to some big reveal that he dyed his hair in a red stripe?
To me, it's just like the snake celebration things, right? It's awkward turtle Jorge, awkward penguin Jorge, trying to fucking like do something that he think is cool to attract fans, and something that he's trying to innovate, and it just never works out. Jorge, you gotta be the villain. You gotta be a little bit of an asshole. Like, you can't just think up something cool and tell people to like it. Bad idea.
This guy literally looked like
Come on, man.
the dad who's trying to connect to the teenage daughter's friends and thinking he's like hip and legit, and he got some like fucking Hot Topic red hair dye and like dyed a red stripe in his hair because he thought he was like hip and cool because he hasn't like the dude turned 30 this year, and he clearly realizes he turned 30 and he's gripping hard.
It's not like it's like midlife crisis shit going on for him, Jorge. Come on.
You know what it is, man? It's I'm not a winner crisis. This dude has been winning races forever, and look at all the times this guy's been gripping. Suddenly he changes to like the devil emoji, like on his pants. He celebrates a third like he just won the fucking championship. Then he's making a big deal out of dyeing his hair. I mean, there is a long, rich history of racers doing something weird with their hair and then fucking up on the same race. Think Rossi's weird mullet that he had in 2010, right? Like, it never works out. But the fact that you are so disconnected from winning and achieving results that you are reaching and grasping this hard, that makes me think he's not winning races next year.
His publicist and his hairstylist and all the people that are in his entourage were like, Jorge, you need a new look. And he's like,
does he have an entourage?
I'm sure he does, man. He's so insecure. He
needs a new one. He needs a new one then.
Well, he probably got a new one, and they told him to do that.
Yeah, I mean, when he did the Cribs episode, and brought everyone to his house, I don't think he didn't have anyone there except the girls that Monster provided.
Yeah, the 3 girls. That's it. It's like, you're a little bit
where's the crew? Like, we know Yonone's got the crew, and they're making some amazing decisions. They would not let him do this with his hair.
We have to get Yonone to do a Cribs. It'll be like the Playboy Mansion. R.I.P. Hefner.
Something like that, or every other hip hop mention.
Like, we said this a million times. Every single race, the fucking British media and Emmett on Motor Matters, who has kind of a weird fascination with Jorge, is like, next race is the one, or he's making strides. No, he's not. And I know he's not because the only time he does well is at the tracks that are hyper suited to the Ducati or him. And he still doesn't do that well. He like barely gets a podium, or he gets 4th or 5th. And now he's reaching, what do you do when you're a dad and your teenage daughter starts randomly dyeing her hair at a weird age and making a big deal out of it? You're starting to worry, right? Or your fucking son, like, when people start acting out, it's a cry for help, dog. And this that red stripe in his hair was a giant period-shaped cry for help, which is, get me the fuck out of here. Like, this thing sucks. I don't do well. It's horrible, and I gotta be done.
Yeah. Maybe so. Wait. You just conspiracy this whole thing. He wants out of Ducati, so he fucks up Map 8 on purpose,
He's
to-
self-sabotaging, bro.
Yeah,
He's
to plant the seed.
self-sabotaging.
To plant the seed for get me out of here.
Dyes his hair
Right.
ugly as fuck. Like, yeah, just go for it.
Holy shit. Holy shit. We can close on that note. That was it.
Yeah, exactly. The red hair was a cry for help.
Yeah, Jorge wants to get fired at Ducati. Thanks for listening to
You heard
Brother
it here
GP.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Oh, man. All right, everyone. We're going to take off. I have no idea how long it's been since I am in a truck at a Chevron and I'm
Robbed.
going to get robbed.
Rob, get
Yeah.
a motel.
I'm gonna drive to Paso Robles. I think that's
Oh
nicer.
no.
Is it worse? No, whatever. Whatever.
Well, if you,
I gotta
if you
go
can
south.
do it, you better text
gotta
me
go
when you get
south.
home. Text me when you get home.
Oh no, I'm definitely sleeping somewhere on the side of the road tonight.
I got not a question, but a comment to end on.
All right.
So,
Close it out.
my man Loud V8 Noises, he's on our Instagram and our Twitter. He's funny and I love him. He actually asked a big long question, but there's a line there I want to end on. With the season being done, talking about Jorge, talking about Yanone and all of that, was why isn't the liberal MotoGP podcast media covering the real story? That made me laugh. And then he referred to it as Gang Bang Ghazi.
Yeah.
Gang Benghazi is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. Clearly that's what happened at the Suzuki garage is Gang Benghazi. But actually, I wanted to talk about his comment, but now that he's saying Gang Benghazi and I say it out loud, that shit makes me laugh so hard. But
Check our
Ducati
emails, bro.
totally-
Check our emails.
right. Exactly. Was Ducati totally sacrificed the last true MotoGP revel in the name of winning and still came up limp-dicked and short?
Ouch.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Yep. It's just a
There
statement.
was.
I don't. I've said it a million times. The best part, the reason why F1 sucks,
You brought it
Rob
up again.
and that one
Don't bring
fan
it up.
who likes F1,
Don't bring
is
it
it's
up.
fucking stupid. But motorcycle racers are badass, fucking rocked up, dick swinging party animals who fucking play by their own rules. And Yanone was the greatest example of motorcycle racer that we'll see in 2017, 2016, all that. And Ducati sacrificed him for what? For fucking nothing.
For period hair.
For period hair.
I can't believe
Happens.
it. All right.
Wow.
All right, that's
Rob,
it.
Rob said that, not me.
I
I'm
know.
just repeating what Rob said.
No, you said it earlier. All right, everyone. I have no idea when I'm going to edit this, but you'll hear it shortly.
You're gonna
And-
edit it tomorrow, bitch.
Yeah,
Get
yeah, I
to
gotta
work.
make it. I'll get home. I'll get home.
Checks
I'll
in the
edit
mail.
this. You'll all listen to it. Checks in the
Checks
mail,
in the
my
mail.
ass. Yeah, like we get paid for this. Thanks for listening. We will be recording in the off season. We will be planning other things. People are asking about shirts again. I talked to people about printing hats this weekend. Stuff will happen. Deals will be made, and MotoGP will be bigger than ever.
Dennis, are you there?
I'm here.
Wow.
See us out in Spanish. See us out in Spanish,
Sexy
bro.
Spanish shit.
See us out in Spanish.
¿Por qué? Ah.
What? Por qué?
That was all we
He
got.
has to plan
What
his
the
Spanish.
fuck?
I met my quota. That's it.